look back at that recipe again, we see it says these 3 ingredients, and this will give you thunder and lightning if you know the art. He left a step out. And this is the secret of gunpowder. It's not about the recipe, really. You can mix these ingredients and not get anything like gunpowder. It's the processing. And Eleanor can show you over there what the processing involves. Now, she's not pushing down on that mortar and pestle very strongly. But if a person like me works very hard pressing the ingredients together with a lot of pressure, it'll take about an hour to create a gun load of gunpowder. So, now that we've talked about that, let's actually use some finished gunpowder here. And we're going to use a medieval handgun. This handgun is a replica of a gun we might see at the very end of the 1300s. This is a gun that you would have seen on the battlefield, or even more particularly in a siege situation, at a fortress, say. And I'll go ahead and light it for you. Go this way. Now, can anyone out there tell me, when you're loading a gun like this, what goes in first? Bullets. We're eventually going to put a bullet of some kind in there. Let's put the powder in first, okay? Now, I've already got a measure of powder all measured out. I'm going to go ahead and put in the handgun. All right. Now, the next part is what? Anyone know? A lot of people will say a wadding goes in next. But at this particular time in history, they probably did not put wadding in for a very good reason. They wanted to go ahead and put the ball in, the projectile, next, and leave it a little bit loose in there, with some gap around the ball, between the ball and the barrel, that we're going to call windage. That gap actually works as something of a pressure valve, so that too much pressure does not build up in the gun and cause the gun to rupture. So I've gone ahead, put the ball in, rammed it in, and then the last step is we're going to prime the touch hole with a fine grade of powder. Very fine powder into the touch hole. Now, one very safe way of setting off a medieval handgun is the 2-man method here. And Stephen is going to help me. Now, we're going to imagine that all of us are gunners down near the base of a wall, of a fortress, in a siege situation. And up there at the top of the wall, there's men that are throwing rocks down on us, throwing arrows down on us, and we're shooting up at them with various weapons, including the handgun. Okay? Now, it's all ready to fire, but Steve is the one who's going to give fire. I will follow my target, and then when the command is given, he will give fire to the gun. All right? So I want you folks to help us. On the count of 3, I want you to give the command to give fire. I want you to scream it just as loud as you can, okay? You cover your ears if you need to. Prepare for fire! Is everyone ready? I'm going to follow my target. 1, 2, 3. I think I heard 3 of you. Oh, come on, people. Let's hear it really loud. Louder than the gun. 1, 2, 3. Fire! And that is an example of the firing of a medieval handgun of the late 1300s. Any questions?